Hare Krishna everyone. Please join us today in the class of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We'll be covering Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10th canto, chapter 18. Lord Balarāma slays the demon Pralamba. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna. So again, after Kirtan, we'll be reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and then we'll be discussing some of the lessons in this pastime where Lord Balarāma slays the demon Pralamba. And then we'll end it with Kirtan again. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiryet
Tato Jayamudirye.
Shravtam Swa Katha Krishna
Shautam Sa Katha Krishna.
Punya Shravana Kirtanaha
Shravana Kirtana.
Hridayantastoya Bhadrani
Hridayantastoya Bhadrani.
Vidunote Suhasatam
Vidunoti Sahatsata.
Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya.
Bhagavate Uttam Shloke
Bhagavati Uttam Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki.
Bhakti Naistiki.
Hare Krishna. So you can sing with us, read with us. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, chapter 18, verse 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Shukuvacha.
Atha Krishna Parivrato
Atha Krishna Parivritto.
Gyati Bhir Muditatmabhi
Gyati Bhir Muditatmabhi.
Anugiyamano Nyavishad
Anugiyamano Nyavishad.
Vrajam Gokula Manditam.
Rajam Gokulamanditam. Shri Shukuvacha.
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Atha Krishna Parivritto.
Atha Krishna Parivrato
Gyati Bhir Muditatmabhi.
Gyati Bhir Muditatmabhi
Anugiyamano Nyavishad.
Anugiyamano Nyavishad
Vrajam Gokulamanditam.
Vrajam Gokula Manditam. Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Shukuvacha.
Shri Shukdev Goswami said,
Shri Shukdev Goswami said.
Atha,
Atha.
next,
Next.
Krishna,
Krishna.
Lord Krishna,
Lord Krishna.
Parivrataha,
Parivrata.
surrounded,
Surrounded.
Gyate Bhi,
Yativi.
by his companions,
By his companions.
Mudita Atma Bhi,
Mudita Atmavi.
who were joyful by nature,
Who were joyful by nature.
Anugyamanaha,
Anugyamana.
his glory is being chanted,
His glory is being chanted.
Neavishat,
Nyavishad.
entered,
Entered.
Vrajam,
Vrajam.
Vraja,
Vraj.
Gokula,
Gokul.
by the herds of cows,
By the herds of cows.
Manditam,
Manditam.
decorated.
Decorated.
Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Shukdev Goswami said, surrounded by his blissful companions, who constantly chanted his glories, Shri Krishna then entered the village of Vraja, which was decorated with herds of cows. There is no purpose, so we'll read the next text as well. While Krishna and Balarāma were thus enjoying life in Vrindavan in the guise of ordinary cowherd boys, the summer season gradually appeared. This season is not very pleasing to the embodied souls. Purport. In chapter 18 of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada comments as follows. The summer season in India is not very much welcomed because of the excessive heat. But in Vrindavan, everyone was pleased because summer there appeared just like spring. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatadham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So in 10th canto, chapter 17, in the last class we covered the history of Kaliya and also the first forest fire that was followed by Lord Krishna. So again there, Kaliya represents cruelty, envious nature and so many anarthas. So all these anarthas, when we hear the pastime of Kaliya, Lord Krishna chastising Kaliya and driving him away from the Yamuna lake. At that time, means when we hear this pastime, it is so enlivening. Plus, on top of that, when Shukdev Goswami shares the blessings, and in Garg Samhita, Devashi Narad even shares even greater blessing, which is like you will stay happy in this life, and then you will go back home, back to Godhead after you give you give up this body. So Kaliya represents brutality, cruelty, treachery, so many anarthas, so many unwanted things that have no meaning. Now sometimes people say, okay, if something doesn't have any meaning, what if we have those yet at the same time we engage in devotional service? How does it hurt, right? Okay, you don't want that I should possess this wealth, but if I have that wealth in addition to my devotional service, what's wrong with that? Yes, if you are not attached to the wealth, then it's very good. If you are engaging the wealth in Krishna's service, that's very nice. Otherwise, anarthas, when they are there, they're just filling the glass. So they are filling up your glass. So if you have a full glass, is it possible to pour anything in it? No, it's not very easy. So when you have an open mind, when you have an empty glass just ready to receive, when you have empty hand just ready to receive the mercy of the Lord, it's easier. That's the only perception. So now, when we hear these pastimes, various anarthas are eradicated from our heart. So our heart becomes clean, very nice, so that Lord Krishna can come and he can reside in our heart. And we become joyful, blissful from that moment. Next, after Kaliya is driven away, there is the pastime of Lord Krishna swallows the forest fire and saves all the Vrindavan Vasis, all the residents of Vrindavan. So, as he swallows this forest fire, so the anartha this represents is the intercommunal discord among the Vaishnavas. So this is very important, that even between devotees, they may have different kind of discords, they have different ideas, and they may think that their idea is the best. And that is a snare of Maya, material energy. She makes the devotee believe that whatever he is working on is the best. While everyone is continually working with devotion, if you work with devotion without considering different factors, then it is the best. So sometimes we see in the temple that we have big distribution, the East Goshti happening, and if not properly managed, if the conflict resolution aspects are not covered and seeking collaboration is not covered, what happens is it can soon convert into Musht Goshti. Musht Goshti is wrestling, because it's very important that pujaris are thinking deity worship is important. Book distributors are thinking book distribution is important, because Srila Prabhupada says books are the basis. And then Sankirtan devotees are thinking going out on Sankirtan parties is important. Then the cooks are thinking cooking is important. Yes, everything is important. We are all serving the same personality of Godhead. And we also covered this example earlier. So if you have many sons and a father has many sons, and all the sons are serving very nicely. One son is pressing father's arm, another son is nicely massaging father's head, another son is nicely massaging father's feet. All of them are giving pleasure to the father, their father. Yet at the same time, if they are carrying out their activity with the focus that they have to give pleasure to their father more than the other sons, that is very nice. But if they think that this is the important service and they start interrupting others in doing their services, then it's not very good. So this is where intercommunal discord comes into the factor. We are all serving Lord Krishna, and in different capacity we are serving Lord Krishna. And whatever capacity we are serving, we should try to serve Lord Krishna with best of our abilities, with love and devotion. Utsahan nishchayat dhairya tat tat karma pravartanat sangatyaga satavritte sadvir bhakti prasiddhati. Utsahan, with enthusiasm we should serve. Nishchayat, with determination. We should not just be enthusiastic for a moment and then let it go the next moment. No, we should be constantly doing it for a long duration, with determination as a regulated practice. And then with patience, dhairyat. Now dhairyat is very important, it's a virtue, that you have to be patient. You cannot expect results right away. Which is very important, that when we are engaged in an endeavor, sometimes people who are attached to the fruits, they are constantly seeking fruit. But while devotee, the fruit for the devotee is satisfaction of the Lord. And so more and more love, more and more devotion, it rises above. If that love and devotion is there, then the devotee wants to make it even more than what he is capable of, so that he can please the Lord. And that is patience. You have to be patient with determination, with enthusiasm. Tat karma pravartanat. By following in the 9 processes of devotion service. Sharanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. The 9 processes of devotion service. Sharanam is hearing, Kirtanam is chanting, Smaranam is remembering the Lord, Pada Sevanam is serving the lotus feet of the Lord, Archanam is doing the deity worship, Vandanam is singing prayers to the Lord, Dasyam is, in servitude, serving the Lord with devotion, Sakyam as a friend, and finally Atma Nivedanam, surrendering everything at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Sangatyagat. Now, Sangatyagat, what does it mean? Sangatyagat means Atsat Sangatyag. Give up the association of materialists. Why is it important to give up the association of materialists? Because materialists are constantly engaged in gossip. Even at current times where we are all in lockdown, we observe, sometimes we call our friends and some of the devotees and so forth. So what we have seen is, like, when I'm talking at work, today is Monday and I'm working for a medical organization. So one of the things that everyone was talking about is, yesterday it was Easter. And how did they celebrate Easter? So some people said, well, they could not go to the church, so they had a virtual session with all the members of the church together. So it was very nice that they could virtually meet all their, friends and families and so forth. And then some say, oh, we were kind of like in a lockdown mode, so we really did not do that. Rather, we were busy in watching movies, playing board games, and sometimes just, doing karaoke and so many other activities. So that was their focus, spending the whole day in all kind of frivolous activities, which does not give you any return. Rather, entangles you more and more in these material modes, the lower modes of material nature, which is ignorance and passion. And then the devotees. Devotees, what are they doing? They are constantly watching one webinar after another. They're constantly reading scriptures, trying to understand what is the cause of this fall down and how we can, continue to progress in our spiritual growth. And we were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita as well in the Antha-lila chapter 2, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he actually chastises Chota Haridas. So it was very wonderful pastime, and there are amazing lessons as we were reading those. So devotees are constantly reading different scriptures, seeing how merciful Lord is, seeing how Lord is carrying out His missions, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam. So how Lord is constantly protecting His devotees. Because Lord Krishna, if you look at Mahabharata, the whole story of Mahabharata, in there you will see Lord Krishna is breaking many rules, but for the benefit of others, for the benefit of humanity. Yudhishthira is following every rule to the word, literally, even if it acts against him. And most of the time it does act against him. He's following that rule and staying with that. Duryodhana, he's following every rule for his benefit. So he would twist and turn the rule so that it benefits him. So he'll only pick up a rule when it's going to benefit him, otherwise he will not touch it. So you have to understand how these 3 personalities in Mahabharata are showing different ways as how they are behaving. Lord Krishna is constantly engaged in his prescribed duties, he says. Nobody can give up work. Nobody can be idle. Everyone has to engage in some sort of activities. So it is very important for us to understand what are the type of activities we should engage in. We should have this discriminatory attitude to understand what is right and what is wrong. And if you want to engage in right activities and not in the bad activities, good activities to help you spiritually advance, how would you do that? So this is a very nice example given by His Holiness Romapad Maharaj. if you have a good dog and a bad dog, who will win? So you have to determine who will win. So can you think of which dog will win if there is in a fight a good dog and a bad dog? The answer is very simple. The one you feed the most. So if you starve the bad dog, don't spend any activity in engaging in any of the frivolous activities in gossip and so forth, that bad dog is getting, not getting any food. It's not getting any of your attention. While the good dog is getting attention when you're reading scriptures, when you're hearing devotees giving various satsang classes, when you're hearing bhajan, when you're chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when you're feeding the good dog and starving the bad dog, of course, then you can determine that the good dog will win. So, Sangatyagat, Satovritte. Satovritte is following in the footsteps of the great acharyas, serving great acharyas, serving the Vaishnavas, the pure devotees of the Lord. And one of the simple ways to serve them is by following their footsteps. So there are two ways of following. One is Anukaran, the second one is Anusharan. Anukaran is imitating someone. And there is a very nice example Srila Prabhupada used to give on imitation. So once there was this veterinarian, and he was, normally looking at various sick animals, and he would cure them, and he would give them proper care, and they would be cured. So he had an apprentice, and this apprentice was always jealous. He wanted to take the position of the veterinarian. So in this particular case, this apprentice was trying to observe what is this doctor doing. Veterinarian is an animal doctor, right? Sometimes we use the word vet also, to refer to such a doctor. So he was going from villages to villages. So once he was called onto a farm, and he goes, and there is this, the owner of the farm has a horse, and the horse has a swollen neck, and the owner tells the vet, saying that, oh, could you please cure this horse of mine? So veterinarian opens the mouth of the horse, smells, observes from outside. He goes, opens up his, bag of tools and picks up a mallet. And then, very carefully, he hits on the neck of the horse. And soon the swelling goes away. And now apprentice looks at it, this is easy. I can do this. So he leaves his service as an apprentice, and then he goes around showing himself that he is a veterinarian and he can cure the animals. While he's going from villages to villages, different places, killing animals. So the word spreads, and his master, the original veterinarian, he comes to know that my apprentice is going out there showing himself as a vet, and then he is killing animals after animals. So once he is able to apprehend his apprentice and say, what are you doing? Why are you killing all these animals? The apprentice says, no, I'm doing exactly what you did. You picked up a mallet and you struck on the throat of that neck of that horse, and the horse was cured. He got up, he was, nicely, walking and so forth. There was no trouble. I'm doing exactly the same thing. I have this mallet, I'm striking on the animal's, neck. It's just that most of them are dying. So it's just not my mistake. It's just, I'm just following what you did. Then the doctor says, that was a special case, you fool. That horse had gulped, he had taken in a big piece of watermelon. So I had to use the mallet to break it from outside. So this is where the melon was broken and the swelling went away. And so, of course, this is the example of Anukaran, imitating someone. Anusharan is taking shelter, following in their footsteps. So Anusharan is where you take the instructions of your spiritual master and follow those instructions with full surrender. And that way, when you continue to do it with devotion, yes, there may be faults in the beginning, but don't be afraid of the faults. What's important is that you continue to make your effort. Now, what is success and failure? Sometimes people say, oh, the success and failure is, if someone is successful, they are like born successful. Now, there is also a study that was carried out on this. in US, there was, two classes. In one class, which was actually of students who were better in grades, teachers just said to these students, "Oh, you are already smart, you know it all." While in the other class, the teachers were using the words, "Oh, you're following the process. This is very nice. You should understand the process. You should follow the process." So it soon happened, as soon as these kids from elementary school went to middle school, they struggled a lot. And they actually, some of them became dropouts when they went to high school. While the kids who were being told that you're following the process very nicely, you understand the process, this is very nice, they continued to make an endeavor in understanding. And why is that? Because the kids who were told that you're already smart, they just assumed that they were born smart. And so, as they grew up and things became hard, they could not understand why they can't understand, why they are not able to solve the problems that they are having. While here the kids, they knew that they have to follow the process, have to constantly endeavor to learn and grow. So they were able to grow smarter and smarter with proper endeavor and following the process. While here, the kids, they've dropped out quickly because they thought that they were supposed to be born smart, they don't have to make any effort. And this is where we learn that we need to understand the process. We need to understand how to follow the process and how to grow that way. And if you do fall down, sometimes you do fall down, that's not your failure. The failure is if you stay down. The importance is when you get up again. That is the endeavor. If you, a small baby, when learning to walk, falls down time and again, but that doesn't mean gives up walking, right? We all were babies one time. So did we give up walking? No, we didn't. We tried to learn how to drive bicycle. We fell down from the bicycle. Did we give up riding bicycle? No. We got up again, cleaned up the dust from our clothes, and then picked up the bicycle and again started driving it and trying to learn. And over a period of time, with our constant endeavor, we are able to, drive the bicycle. And similarly, anything that we do in our life, we are faced with challenges. Yet at the same time, we look at these challenges like stepping stones. If we can overcome these challenges, then we are growing ahead. If we just give up to these challenges, then we have built our own wall. So here, as we hear how by following different processes, just by following, the Vaishnavas, Sadbhir Bhakti Prasiddhati, our bhakti grows, becomes stronger and stronger. So we should take to these processes with enthusiasm, determination, patience, following the 9 processes of devotion service, giving up the association of materialist and following in the footsteps of the acharyas. We should continue to engage in devotion service, and so our devotional service will go stronger and will continue to progress. So here, in this chapter 18, Lord Balarāma slays the demon Pralamba. There's a very nice pastime. So after the forest fire, which is, taken care of, Lord Krishna resumes his Ashtakaliya Leela. So these are his repeated pastimes, eternal pastimes. And in these pastimes, there are some Namatika pastimes also included. So Lord Krishna, he would go every day, with all the cowherd boys, taking their cows, herds of cows, and then they would go to the forest, and they were very nicely, going together, and they were all during the day, they would herd the cows, and at the same time, they would play many different kind of games. And now the summer season is there. And in India, we know, if you have been to Vrindavan during the summer season, you can understand how hot it gets. It's really hot and the dust is all over the place. Yet at the same time, when you visit the temples, all this becomes completely, you forget about all this because you are mesmerized, you are constantly attracted by the beautiful form of Krishna Balarāma, Shri Radha Krishna, Shri Madan Mohan, and so many other deities at Vrindavan. So you are visiting different, like Shri Radha Gopinath and Shri Radha Govindji. So we are looking at all these personalities, all these deities, and you're constantly, you must be thinking of the various pastimes associated with all these deities. And then, when we are looking at these deities and looking at different places where Lord Krishna, if you go on a Braj Mandal, on a Parikrama, then you come to know so many pastimes of Lord Krishna. And these are all possible because of the 6 Goswamis who visited, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, so many personalities. And of course it starts with Madhavendra Puri going and retrieving Gopal deity. So they found all these places of the pastimes, and it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He first revealed all of Lord Krishna's pastimes in different places in Vrindavan, because he is not different from Radha Krishna. So when he went in Radharani's mood to Vrindavan, he was able to go to different places in Vrindavan and remember the pastimes. And so he revealed those pastimes to his disciples, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and so many others, so that they went to Vrindavan, and then they found all these places. They established so many wonderful temples, found the deities, and then re-established those deities. And these deities were originally Shri Radha Govindji, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Gopinathji. They were they were established by Vajranath, the grandson of Lord Krishna. And the instructions as how they look were given by Uttara, right, the wife of Abhimanyu and mother of Parishad Maharaj. So in this manner, all these wonderful temples are established today that you can go and see at Vrindavan. So this is the occasion where Lord Krishna and Balarāma are performing wonderful pastimes with all the cowherd boys on a daily basis. Now every time Lord leaves Vrindavan, all the gopis are in anxiety. All the mothers, they are constantly singing the glories of Lord Krishna. So even in separation there is love, and it goes deeper and deeper. It rises it continues to grow. And they are thinking that Lord Krishna is barefoot and he may get hurt walking on the stone, on thorns and so forth. The ground is so hard. So Lord Krishna, along with the cowherd boys, and Lord Krishna and Balaram just in the form of cowherd boys, just like 6 years old, they are going with all the cowherd boys and they're playing all day. Now we remember our childhood. We would go out to play games in the field and we would not come back. Our weekends would just be spent with our friends. So you can imagine Lord Krishna and Balaram. They were the original, personalities who invented many of the games that we play. So it was also said that they would find different kind of fruits, and they would sometimes use a bigger size fruit, to play football, kick around, and then they would use another kind of fruit to do something, catches and so forth. They would do, different games. They would play different kind of games, like tag, trying to run on one foot, trying to catch others. We have this, they would cover. So Sanatana Goswami, he describes many of the games that Lord Krishna and Balarāma used to play with the cowherd boys. One person would be, another one would come from the back and cover the eyes and say, can you guess who I am? So again, they have to guess who's this person, which friend has covered their eyes, and they have to name it. So many games they were playing. And on top of the games, means they were constantly dancing and singing and playing their flutes. So sometimes Lord Krishna would be dancing and the cowherd boys would be clapping and playing flutes, and everyone was saying, oh, very nice, Krishna, you dance very nicely. And sometimes Lord Krishna would be playing on his flute, where all the cowherd boys would be, dancing and singing along with him. Sometimes Lord Krishna would be singing and Balaram would be dancing, and all the cowherd boys would be providing music with different clapping and, from the bugles, horns, and so forth. So they constantly engage in all this Ashtakali Leela. Now, many of these cowherd boys were demigods who had taken birth in the Yadu dynasty. So they had, become the cowherd boys, and they were relishing it very nicely. And they would be, saying, oh Krishna, very nice, oh Balaram, very nice dancing. And so they would encourage each other. And Lord Krishna and Balaram were the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They were just like cowherd boys, enjoying this pastime with these cowherd boys. So you can imagine how exalted these cowherd boys of Vrindavan were when Lord Krishna and Balaram were the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are constantly relishing the pastime and playing with these boys, the cowherd boys. And so on one occasion, this demon Pralamba, an associate of Kans, he decides to join the cowherd boys disguised as a cowherd boy. So on this particular occasion, Acharyas explained that one of the cowherd boy had stayed back to perform his duties. So Pralamba, knowing that this cowherd boy has not come today, he took the form of that cowherd boy and he joined the group of cowherd boys along with Krishna and Balarāma. Now Lord Krishna, as soon as he saw, he could understand that this is a demon. And now he was thinking how to kill this demon, right? Because Paritrāṇaya sadhunam is protecting devotees, vinashaya cha dushkritam. So he annihilates the demons. So now this demon has come, yet at the same time he has come in the form of a friend. So Lord Krishna, thinking he has come in the form of a friend, he welcomes him just like a friend would. So this is Lord Krishna, who is so merciful that even if a demon who has come with the intention has taken the form of a friend, Lord Krishna is embracing him like a friend and is welcoming him to join. And he says, oh, very nice that you could come, patting him, and then thinking as how to kill the demon, he decides to say, okay, let's play. So he, at that time, puts a proposal in front of all the boys that let's play Harina Kirdanam. So, Hiran Kriranam. So, there was a game that is like you would run like Hiran runs. Sometimes we used to run like that, like horses run and hirans, the deers, how they run. And they have to run to a Bhandarika banyan tree. So Bhandarika banyan tree was a great tree. It was a huge tree and it had its branches spread so widely that it appeared like a dark cloud. And it was serving Lord Krishna and Balarāma by giving them shade in hot season. Yet at the same time we hear that the summer season was just like spring. So it was not at all hot and hard out there in Vrindavan. It was very nice. There were waterfalls. And it said, Acharyas explained that the water was flowing so nicely that it was making musical sound, right? And that sound was overwhelming, overcoming the sound of the crickets. Cricket sound is not very nice. It's like click, 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 click. Not very nice. Yet the waterfall sound was, as water is falling at the waterfalls, was so nice and soothing, and it was overcoming. The lotuses and the flowers were, blooming all over the place. In the lakes there were lotuses. And so the air from the waterfall, collecting all these water droplets, would go over these different flowers carrying the fragrance. And so as they were touching the body of the residents of Vrindavan and the cowherd boys and the elderly gopis and the gopis, they were getting very soothing, cool feelings. So it was very nice. And this is all because of the potency of Yogamaya, the internal potency of the Lord. So because of the effect of Yogamaya, everything was blissful. So this is what happens. In Vaikuntha or in the spiritual world, everything is pleasing, everything is blissful. It's not like this material world where there is danger at every step. Yet at the same time you could say, but there is a danger in this particular case because this is Bhaume Vrindavan. Lord Krishna came to the material world, and that particular Vrindavan is where in the material world there is danger at every step. So that's why Pralamba Sura has appeared. So this demon Pralamba, he has taken the form of a cowherd boy. And Lord Krishna has said, let's play this game that we will pair up, right? We'll have two teams. And each team will have one, they will present one boys, and they would be running in the form of a deer, going to the Bhandrika banyan tree and then returning, and whoever wins would ride on top of the loser. So the loser will carry the winner on their back, and they have to now run towards the Bhandrika banyan tree. So it's decided. Cowherd boys agree very quickly, and they say, okay, Krishna and Balarāma, you are the two captains of the team, right? Because we need two teams. So the team captains should be great personalities. Who's better than Krishna and Balarāma? So they agree. So Krishna chooses different boys and Balarāma chooses different boys. So as this Pralamba Sura was anticipating, he thought about it, that Krishna is too powerful. he heard about how Krishna even chastised Kaliya. So maybe it's easy for me to, try to kill Balaramji first. So that's his motive now. So he joins the team of Lord Krishna's team, and his different children, they are doing this race, this competition, and Lord Krishna is competing with Śrīdama, of course. Lord Krishna accepts defeat. Now this is very interesting. Just like a father, when playing with a child, sometimes allows the child to win over. And this is a loving exchange between the father and the son. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, he accepts defeat from his friend. And sometimes this defeat are wonderful types. He makes it very funny by saying, like sometimes Lord Krishna and Śrīdama, they would be wrestling together. And Lord Krishna and Śrīdama, as they are wrestling, and Lord Krishna, shows that he has been defeated, he says, no. Actually, my foot came on top of a banana peel. And they're like, there's no banana peel here. Like, oh, because it went away, it got kicked away at a great distance. Or sometimes we would say, hey, I just stepped on a leaf and that's where, I lost my balance, or the ground is uneven, so I lost my balance. And this, so they were very wonderful, pastimes where Lord Krishna would allow his cowherd friends to win. And so here, Śrīdama has won. And similarly, Balarāma competes against this cowherd boy, and Pralamba Sura is, in this disguise of a cowherd boy. So Pralamba admits defeat with the intention that if I have to carry, I will carry Balarāma away from all these cowherd boys, and then I will have the opportunity to kill Balaramji. So with that mindset, he accepts defeat. And so, as Krishna's party has lost most of them, they carry the opponent party on their shoulders, and now they are running to the banyan tree. So as they are running, Pralamba Sura takes a different path and goes beyond. Now Lord Balarāma is wondering, why is this cowherd boy going in a different direction and continuing to go ahead and ahead? So he's a little surprised. So he, and as he has taken Lord Balarāma increases his weight. So he weighs as heavy as Mount Sumeru. So as the weight has increased, Pralamba Sura is not able to carry that weight in that disguise. So he takes his original form. And his original form is of a dark body, a giant body, and he's wearing golden helmet and golden earrings. So it appeared like a dark cloud with a golden lining, as if, that's going. And he's taking the path of air. So he's taking the, he's, riding through the air. But at the same time, Balarāma is increasing his weight as heavy as Mount Sumeru. So at that time, being crushed in the weight, Pralamba Sura is expanding his body so that he can carry it. And at that time, it is said that Lord Balarāma shows various expressions. He even shows the expression of being frightened. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his writing says that he's showing this expression because he's thinking, if there is a demon here, there may be a demon carrying Krishna elsewhere. So he's worried about Lord Krishna. So his thought is of his master. So that he's also showing us that every time we are not so much worried about ourselves, but about others. So this is how, and especially our Lord. So we should also be seeking how can we serve Lord better and better every day. And another moment is, he is also thinking, surprised, that how come this is a demon? He's surprised just to show, because he had not expected that. Lord Krishna knew that this cowherd boy is actually, it's a demon, Pralamba Sura. Pralamba Sura as a demon, he had taken the disguise of this cowherd boy. Balarāma was surprised to see that this is a demon, not his friend. So he was surprised to see, and then suddenly he understood that, oh, my friend did not come today, this cowherd boy did not come today, and Pralamba Sura took the opportunity to come in his form. And so at that time, Lord Balarāma simply strikes with his fist on his helmet, breaking the helmet and his head, and with a great tumult, making a tumultuous roaring sound, the demon falls on earth. And the sound is so great, and the strike is so great, just like that of the Vajra of Indra. the thunderbolt weapon of Indra, when Indra strikes the peaks of the mountains and the whole peaks of the mountains, they are burst. Similarly, this demon head burst open and he falls on the ground just like a big mountain is crumbling down with the strike of the thunderbolt of Indradev. And as he falls down, making such a tumultuous sound, such a roaring sound, and he is vomiting blood, and his head is split, and he falls down. All the cowherd boys hearing this sound, they come running, including Krishna. They come running where this is coming from, and then they go and they see this ghastly sight that this demon is lying on the ground. His head is split open, his helmet is broken, and Lord Balarāma is on top of him. And they say, "Oh, very nice, excellent, Balarāma, you did very well." And then the demigods, they shower flowers on Lord Balarāma. And as we hear the celestial, musicians, they start playing on the music, and the kinnaras are singing, the apsaras are dancing, and everyone is jubilant. So here, Pralamba dies. Yet at the same time, it is very important that it's Lord Balarāma who is killing Pralamba. So what kind of anarthas does Pralamba represent? Now it's very important to understand that Pralamba is representing lusty aspirations, people who are inspired by lusty thoughts. That's what is being represented here. In addition to that, not just for wealth and women, they are for name, fame and glories. Those are other aspects. And Acharyas explain it very nicely that, these lusty desires are anarthas, and sometimes they show us as if they are our friends. They show that, oh, we should be very famous. We should be, looking for name, fame and glories. We should be becoming very rich. All these different type of lusty desires are seeking some level of sense gratification. Indirectly, it's like a snare of Maya. These anarthas are presenting themselves as friendly thoughts. And we should not welcome such friendly thoughts because they cause our fall down. We should be detached from the fruits, yet at the same time attached to the service to the Lord. So we should constantly be chanting in that humble mood. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us that when we are engaged in devotional service, which starts with chanting of the holy name, we should do it in a humble mood. More tolerant than the tree and more humble than the grass. We should chant with full devotion, raising arms and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So that's the mood we should be constantly chanting. So again, it is very important to understand Pralamba represents lusty inclinations. And it is trying to carry us on its shoulder. Yet at the same time, it is also identified by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that the demons who are killed by Balaramji, Lord Balarāma, they just don't go away by hearing these stories and meditating on this. We have to make an endeavor and seek mercy of the Lord. And Lord Balarāma is Adi Guru. He is the Supreme Personality of Savita Godhead. So as Adi Guru, in Parampara, he is teaching us that we should take shelter of the Parampara system, the disciplic succession, and also of our spiritual master. So we can understand and follow in the teachings, in the instructions, and when we follow in Anusharan, right? We're taking shelter of the lotus feet by following in their footsteps, not by imitation. Because by imitation, the lusty inclinations will rise. So instead of imitating them, we should follow in their footsteps so that we can purify ourselves of these lusty desires, these kind of, thoughts. And as we hear in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chota Haridas Thakur was a very close devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a renunciate. And when Bhagwan Das had asked him to get some rice from Madhvi Devi, who was an elderly lady, Chota Haridas Thakur had gone and received the rice. And, Bhagwan Das, he was very pleased to see the quality of rice. So he cooked the rice and vegetables. When he served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glorifying the prasadam as it was being served. And then he inquired, where did you get such a nice rice, such nice rice? And at that time, Bhagwan represent So this is a great associate of the Lord who's serving the Lord. He says, oh, I got it from Madhavi Devi. So he said, okay, and did you go yourself or who did you send? So he says, I sent Chota Haridas. And at that time, Mahaprabhu, after partaking the prasadam, he goes back to the temple and he tells his associates that I don't want to see Chota Haridas Thakur. So Chota Haridas, when he hears this, he's heartbroken. For 3 days he fasts. And all the other devotees, they are trying to present his case that he has not done anything. At that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clearly says that he has engaged in intimate talks. And being a renunciate, I don't want to hear about him. And if you try to force me too much, I will leave this place. So they are all surprised with this attitude. And Chota Haridas Thakur, he is constantly living in this guilt. But when all the devotees, they hear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying that I do not want to, see anyone who has engaged in any intimate talk with a woman with opposite sex. So the same thing is true for ladies to not engage in similar talks with the men. So it's opposite sex that we should be watching against. And we can talk about Harikatha, but not about any intimate talk, any gossip, or any frivolous, matters or worldly talks or worldly subject matters we discussed. We should be very focused. And Srila Prabhupada actually stresses it very nicely. When he heard some of his disciples reveal to him that there is this story of Jiva Goswami. There was a servant of Mirabai. Mirabai had sent a message to her servant saying that she wants to meet Jiva Goswami. And then this disciple said that at that time Jiva Goswami refused to meet Mirabai. And then Mirabai sent a message to Jiva Goswami. And why did he refuse? They are saying that because Mirabai is a lady. She's a woman. And that Jiva Goswami refuses to meet Mirabai, saying that she is a lady. At that time, Mirabai sends a response back saying that I thought all the living entities are Strī, lady, Shakti. And there is only one Purusha, Lord Krishna. And then he agreed to meet. And when Srila Prabhupada heard this, he said, no, that may not be true. Because in our parampara, in Vaishnava Sampradaya, in Gaura Sampradaya, a sannyasi would not refuse to meet a woman. But however, a sannyasi will be very careful when dealing with women so that they are only engaged in Harikatha. They are not engaged in any worldly talks. They are not engaged in any gossip or any intimate interaction. That is not encouraged at all. And Chota Haridas, since he had committed this offense, a minor offense, so he had revealed to the devotees when they came to him. So they said that he has committed a minor offense. He just talked to her. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to set an example for all of us. So he said that I do not want to see Chota Haridas Thakur. So Chota Haridas, who was a great singer, he would sing for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from a great distance. He would not directly approach the Lord because the Lord doesn't want to see him. So sometimes we see that some devotees, they want to see a personality, when a sannyasi is visiting. And even though sannyasi may not be wanting to meet so many people, they push themselves on, pushing themselves to the front and going to see. No, we should wait for our turn. We should be very patient. That is respectful, being very respectful, and wait for our turn to approach the sannyasi. So Chota Haridas was at a distance. He would pay obeisances, look at Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, hear Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, engage in his pastime from a distance. And a year passed like that. So after 3 days, of course, the devotees were able to console him, saying, you should not fast so badly, and if you become so stubborn, Lord will become more stubborn, and then there will be this competition. This competition is not encouraged, not very blissful. So everything is blissful in the company of the Lord. So they made him, give up his fasting, and so this, made him understand. So after a year, Chota Haridas, he could not bear this separation. So one night, he paid obeisances and he left for Prayag. And at the Triveni, where Mother Ganges, the river Ganges merges with river Yamuna, at that point in Prayag, at Sangam, he entered the waters and gave up his life. Now, he gave up his life meditating at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeking forgiveness. So he was able to get his spiritual body. And in that spiritual body, which was like that of a Gandharva, he would come every night and sing, Kirtan to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would enjoy that. And once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked his devotees, where is this Chota Haridas? So they said, we do not know where he is. After paying obeisances to you, he left. And then these devotees, they went to take dip at the ocean, and there they could hear Chota Haridas's voice. They could hear him singing. And they were wondering, that we cannot see him, but we can hear him. So they were now speculating. They were guessing, maybe he has become a ghost. Maybe he has become a Brahman Rakshasa. There is a ghostly form of, when Brahmanas, they fall down from their position, not able to attain, they take the form of a Brahman Rakshasa. And these Brahman Rakshas, they are so powerful that when demigods fall from heavenly planets to earth, they eat the bodies of these demigods. They are so powerful. So maybe he has become one of them. But afterwards they say, no, it is not possible, because he was a great devotee of the Lord. He was a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He chanted the holy name all his life. There is no way that he can become a ghost. He can fall down in a lower region. So at that time, they went back, and then a devotee came from Prayag, and he revealed to the devotees and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Chota Haridas actually, gave up his body by entering the waters at Sangam, at Triveni in Prayag. And so he gave up his body, and at that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that yes, one who has committed a sin, and he's setting an example. He's setting an example. This is the third factor, Dharma Sansthapanarthaya. He did not want people to take Vaishnavism very cheaply. He wanted to set an example. So even a very close associate he used to set this example. He used a very close associate, Chota Haridas Thakur, to be that associate, that he gave up the associate, means the company of his associate, to set the example for us that we should not engage in, having intimate conversation with the opposite sex. We should be very careful in our dealings with the opposite sex. And why that is so? Because he did not want it to be the Mandaka Sannyas scenario. So now, what is this Mandak Sannyas? Mandak Sannyas is like, Mandak means asthir, which is like very unstable or flickering, like that of a monkey. Monkeys, they climb, they stay naked in the trees, and they climb from one branch to another, spending their time only eating fruits. So it appears like they are like, sannyasis, who are just sustaining themselves on fruits. And as we know in animal kingdom, they don't hoard things. They use it and then they let go of others. And then, they again, when they feel hungry, they eat fruits. They're not, collecting fruits. They eat what they need and they leave the rest. So it appears like they're like sannyasis. Yet at the same time, a monkey is constantly thinking of a female monkey. Sometimes they keep a dozen of monkeys. So again, Srila Prabhupada in the purport writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita so that sometimes monkeys are keeping dozens of female monkeys so that they can engage in illicit, in relationship with them. So that is where it says, it's also Srila Prabhupada called it skin disease. And this starts with, constant thinking, feeling, willing. That's the process. Once you think, then you want to do this. When you want to do this, then you feel that, and then you want to do this. Think, feel, and will. And we also covered in the last class, Saubhari Muni. He fell down from his position because of this same factor. He saw in the waters, he was meditating in the waters at Yamuna Lake. He saw the fishes mating. When he saw, so he had that feeling that, oh, they are really enjoying. And then he had desire to enjoy. He felt that desire to come in him, and so he fell down from his position, and then he went to King Mandhata to ask for one of his daughters to be married to him, given to him in marriage, so that he can enjoy his life with her as a grahastha. So we have to be very, very careful when we are dealing with the opposite sex. We should be, engage in harikatha discussions, not frivolously. And so when there's occasion of Jiva Goswami and Mirabai was narrated to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said it may not be true. Because in our sampradaya, in our parampara, a sannyasi would not refuse to meet someone just because they are a woman. They would meet women with the focus of having spiritual advancement for the other party. So, one who is Pandit, one who has proper knowledge, sees everyone with equal vision. Right? So as we hear in Bhagavad Gita 8.5, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Cheva Shopakecha Pandita Samadashina. So Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, with proper and when one is properly endowed with knowledge, Vidya, with proper knowledge, Sampanne, endowed with that knowledge, Brahmane Gavi Hastini, looks with equal vision to a Brahman, a cow, an elephant. Hastini is an elephant. And then Shunicheva Shopakicha, and the dog and the dog eater. So different, all we are saying is that different people, different living entities, different souls are there, and they have different kind of bodies, which is the outer covering, the outer dress. Yet at the same time, at the heart of this living and every embodied being is the living entity and the super soul. So Lord as Paramatma is residing in everyone's heart. So they look at all the living entities with equal vision. So that is the attitude where even though a sannyasi may be talking to a woman, the focus would be to seek a spiritual advancement, because when they speak something about Krishna, that purifies them, and the hearer also gets purified when the hearer hears about Lord Krishna. So it is very nice to exchange and do Ishta Goshti, to describe different pastimes of Lord Krishna. So in this pastime, all these lusty inclinations and desire for personal growth, name, fame, glories and wealth, this all goes away if one constantly takes shelter of the spiritual master, follows the disciplic succession, engages in devotional service, and continue to keep the focus and pray with devotion, in a humble state, that, oh Lord, please remove these lusty desires. Then by the grace of Shri Balaram, Lord Baldev, all these lusty desires are washed away, so that Lord Krishna can come and sit in our heart. He can reside very nicely in our heart, being purified of all these unwanted things. So that is how a devotee prays. So there are many pastimes where Lord Krishna, when he was going on a day-to-day basis, and Balaramji with all the cowherd boys, they would do many wonderful, wonderful pastimes. And Ashtakali Leelas, there are many other pastimes are described. Now in Yamuna and the places where there were actually some tax stations, to cross Yamuna, the bridge, sometimes there would be a tax collector. And Lord Krishna would sometimes disguise himself as, tax collector. And he would stop the gopis. Oh, you cannot take it unless you pay taxes. And he would say, I'm the tax collector, I'm the companion of tax collector, and I have to collect tax, only then you can cross. And sometimes he would, as a wager, he would ask for yogurt, butter and milk and so many offerings to be made to him. And sometimes he would get caught. So there are many wonderful pastimes where the gopis will catch him. Oh, this is Krishna trying to fool us. And so he would be caught. And of course, with him, the other personality is Madhu Mangal. There are various other pastimes where Madhu Mangal would say, oh Lord Krishna, once again he would call him Krishna directly because they are friends. You say, Krishna, you should serve me sweets because I love to eat. Madhu Mangal loves to eat sweets and different kind of palatable offerings. So he would encourage Krishna to bring him sweets and different butter and other things. So that, Madhu Mangal happens to be son of a Brahman. And he says, you are son of a king, a Vaishya king, Nand Maharaj. So if you will, feed me nicely, I will give you nice blessings. Because I'm Brahman, I'm Brahman's son. Yet at the same time, it is a wonderful pastime, which doesn't mean that a Brahman's son would be a Brahman. But this is a sweet pastime where he is showing, and Lord Krishna is encouraging, allowing him to show this, because it's a loving exchange going on between two friends. So Lord Krishna would give him nice kind of sweet palatable sweet dishes, and Madhumangal would be enjoying them and then blessing Krishna in return. So can you imagine this is again like a father allowing the child to have his way so that the child takes a higher position. Same thing at Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna is taking a lower position of a charioteer for Partha, Arjun, because he loves his devotee. He loves his devotee so much that he wants to serve his devotees, which puts us in a position that we should be wanting more to love such a Lord who is wanting to reply back, and he replies 10-fold, 1,000-fold more than what we can do. Hare Krishna. So it is very interesting that Lord is constantly trying to find ways as how, and then there are so many wonderful pastimes with the gopis as Lord Krishna is constantly engaging. So again, in the previous chapter where Kaliya was chastised, and prior to the Kaliya's chastisement, there was this pastime where Lord Krishna and Balarāma, they were walking hand in hand, keeping their hands on each other's shoulders, and Krishna was saying, all these fruits and these trees, the branches are lowered because they want to touch your feet, because you are the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So sometimes when people with not right knowledge read this, and he says, Lord never lies. So if he's saying that Balarāma is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, so Balarāma must be the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. But then you have to see from the eyes of the Shastra, from the eyes of the great Acharyas, who explain very nicely that these trees are actually going down to Lord Krishna. It is Lord Krishna who is encouraging that Balarāma, it is for you that they are doing. And these trees are just waiting for embrace, just like the gopis who are waiting for Lord Balarāma's embrace. So Lord Balarāma has his own set of gopis who are constantly worshipping him and who's constantly devoted to him, and they're always seeking the embrace of Balarāma-ji. Just like the gopis who are seeking Lord Krishna's companionship. So again, these are very elevated pastimes. And one of the ways to understand is sometimes people get offended when they hear that Lord Krishna has so many gopis and he has 16,100 wives. Which reminds me that there was a Polish nun. She sued Krishna. So she actually took Krishna to court case. Here she said that Lord Krishna, he has 16,108 wives. This is a highly unethical character. So the devotees represented Krishna to defend Lord Krishna's position, and they were able to do it very quickly because they asked this nun what was the vow, what was the promise it took when it took to this service as a nun. And she was surprised because a service as a nun is that, I accept Lord as my husband and myself as his wife. So if that is what you have taken the vow, does that make Christ, who is non-different from Krishna, guilty? No, that is not the case. So by just giving this simple, and because they were able to refer to the Shastras, they were able to present this case very nicely, and the nun was defeated and she withdrew her case. Understanding the position of Krishna. It is not Krishna is wanting to associate with the gopis, it is the gopis who want to serve Krishna. And it is at that Atma Nivedanam Bhava, at the topmost Madhurya Ras, where they are serving Krishna. And they are not so much attached to other relationships because they understand that there is only one true relationship, and that is with Krishna. Jivera Swarup Hoye Krishnera Nityadas. So, the constitutional position of a living entity is an eternal servant of Krishna. And being an eternal servant, everything belongs to Krishna. Lord Krishna says, Bhuktaram Yagatapsam Sarvalok Maheshwaram. So he is the benefactor of all the sacrifices, yet at the same time he is the proprietor of all the universes, material and spiritual universes. So if everything belongs to Lord Krishna, that means we are also part of that everything. So we also belong to Lord Krishna. So we have to serve ourselves, give ourselves fully to Lord Krishna, and also that whatever we get in this material world is coming from Lord Krishna, so we have to engage it in Lord Krishna's service. So that should be the attitude, and that we should constantly continue to serve with devotion. Now somebody came to me and said, oh, so Prabhu, whatever you have, you should immediately give it all away. No, you don't just give it all away, you engage it in Lord Krishna's service. You stay detached from everything that you seem to have, taking it as a gift that you have received from Lord Krishna, and then engaging it back in the service of Lord Krishna. When you have this attitude of being humble, being devoted, and praying to the Lord for His mercy, then we get the blessings of the Lord. And blessings of the Lord comes on His own accord. Sometimes Mayavadis, Srila Prabhupada writes in his purpose, are fearful of that, right? They are thinking, oh, if Lord Krishna if the Supreme Personality is a person, not the Brahman, if it's just that the thing, then the person may have his own choice, may have his own liking and likes and dislikes, and that becomes a fearful thought, because that is something that they cannot accept. So they want to just merge into Brahman and become God. And that is a great offense. That's the last snare of Maya, material energy. She is putting this spell on them that you can become God. Srila Prabhupada said that you can never become God, but you can become godly. And why do you want to become God? When you become greater than God, when you can become, a friend of God, who when playing with God, like Sridhama keeps defeating all the time, or Madhu Mangal always asking for Lord Krishna to feed him nice palatable offerings. Why do you want to become God when you can become greater than God? When you can become an associate of Yashodama, you're an associate of Nand Maharaj. Many associates of Yashodama were, elderly gopis, and they would engage in helping Yashoda, my mother Yashoda, sometime in bathing Krishna, sometime in feeding Krishna, sometime in dressing Krishna. And that is a greater position to have, because Krishna would allow himself to be in your arms as a baby. And you can truly exchange and serve and love him. As elderly cowherd man, you could take Krishna on your shoulder and walk around Vrindavan. You can be at that position. Why try to become God when you can become greater than God? And God is so merciful that He would like you to take that position. He would want us to take that position. That's why He appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is not different from Radha and Krishna. And He opened the gates of the love of God and immersed the whole universe, whole Bharatvarsh, the whole world in the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So this is where we end this chapter, understanding that Pralamba Sura represents the inclination, the lusty inclinations, the desire to, name, fame and glories, gather these and get away. Means again, these are the anarthas. And when we take shelter of our spiritual master, take shelter of the disciplic succession, and in a prayerful mode, humbly praying to the Lord that please remove all these desires so that I can continue to progress in my, spiritual journey. And then by the mercy of the Lord, we will be delivered so that we can go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Now we will do little Kirtan. Yantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us today. Hare Krishna.